Hey, Tim Sykes here with another daily recap. This market is insane. As I've been saying the past few days, the past few weeks, the past few months, every single day there is something in play. It's getting pretty ridiculous, and I want more of you guys to be able to take advantage of it. So I'm going to keep doing these kinds of video lessons because there's opportunities both long and short. You just need to be prepared. You need to study the patterns. It's not just about random stocks or random spikes or random sectors. It is all very meticulous, and the more meticulous you are, the better off you will do. Let me first talk about my trades because each of the past few days I have made $3,000. And I've said in the past, $500 a day keeps the real job away, $1,000 a day keeps the real job away, even $2,000 a day keeps the real job away. Now I'm upping it, because frankly, it is a ridiculous market and you should be making $3,000 a day. Now, obviously, I know some of you guys have smaller accounts, so it's not about 3,000. Maybe your goal is 2,000 or 1,000 or even 500, and that's fine. Don't feel like you have to make 3,000 in a day. All I'm saying is that for me, I've been making roughly 3 grand a day lately as opposed to 2 grand or 1 grand because the stocks are more volatile. The opportunities are there. What did I just say? Volatile? I can't even talk. I've just finished a trading challenge webinar, live webinar where I made 3 grand in front of my challenge students. 3 trades in a row with 3 grand. Roughly COGT, I was actually a day early before it spiked big. It's kind of tough. It's not like an exact science like, oh, just get into the stock market and you'll make 3 grand. This is a very inexact science. So studying is required. I don't know why I can't speak today. Adaptation is required. Modulating between being aggressive one day and maybe conservative or not even trading the next day is required. But if by the end of this video lesson you understand this lesson, please say that in the comments section below. 3 grand per day keeps the real job away. And I want you thinking like this, because too many of you think that you have to make 10 or 20 or $50,000 in a day to get rich. I have students who are doing that. Yesterday Roland made $50,000. That's cool. But if you start taking singles and getting in the mentality of taking singles and, locking in your profits rather than, oh, COGT, spiked up another $1.50. Like I could have made, 15 grand on this one. I'm fine with mistiming it. It was a paid pump. It was a little kind of a weird play. It's okay to mistime it. And I said this during my challenge webinar today, like some people make some money and then they see the stock go up even more and they get angry. And they're like, I should have had more patience. But you profited and you learned a lesson. And when a stock goes up more than you anticipate, guess what? That means you're on the right track. Like yesterday, I nailed IEGH. I was actually traveling and I was doing this, making nearly 70%, buying in at 51 cents, selling in at 86 cents. By the time I could even get the alert out on the sell, it was up to $1.07. It was spiking that quickly, and it actually got up to $1.20. So I made a massive return, which is awesome, but I underestimated it. Blockchain news. This is what pretty much is what is driving all these stocks lately. The big winner this week is Kodak. It's down a little bit today, but this is just a ridiculous move for a rather large company from 3 to 12. I mean, quadrupling on the back that they're gonna, have their own little cryptocurrency. Like, what is it? Kodak coin, code coin? I don't know. Any company that announces their own crypto or their own coin right now is getting rewarded, whether it's Kodak or Hooters, which is BURG. This spiked big when they came out with their own thing. What was another one? Oh, CNET is probably the biggest winner of the past few days, from 1 to 11, back down to 5. Nice little double bottom in here at 5, and it spiked up to 8. Some of my students nailed that today. I'm a little more conservative today just because Bitcoin and cryptocurrency stocks aren't spiking that much. If you look at my watch list real quick, you'll see a lot of red. A lot more red than we're used to. And I mean, IEGH is a crypto play. TAPM is a crypto play. KODK is a crypto play. MSRT is a blockchain play. AMRH is a crypto blockchain play. COGT. I mean, all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 biggest losers are all in blockchain and cryptocurrency. So it's not exactly the best day for this sector. Sears, tried to pull a little Kodak today, and they came out with their own little cryptocurrency for gift cards. It spiked in the morning and failed. This is what I'm talking about modulating, where, if they had announced this earlier this week on the day that Kodak had, Sears could have doubled. It theoretically could have doubled or tripled. We'll never know now, but it's not an exact science. So just because you get a ridiculous spike one day does not mean that the next day it's going to work. But there is a clear overall trend. I mean, TAPM makes games, and they announced the other day that they're going to put their own little crypto and blockchain technology into their games, and the thing has gone from 20 cents up to 70 cents. And you'll notice, this is the cool thing that I was also talking about during my webinar today. It's not about being first. You do not have to spot the news. You do not have to try to guess the news ahead of time. What really is working is spotting something that is spiking big and understanding that it can have legs for several days or even several weeks. And TAPM is a great example of that. I mean, weed stocks are in play right now. CANN is a great example where, it had a nice spike. I mean, this is a massive spike from, the ones to the fives back down to the twos. And then look at this. 2 to 10. So you have 5 times your money inside of like 2 weeks, and then another 5 times your money. So there's multiple waves, and it's not just about being first and catching the immediate wave. Oftentimes it's better later in the pattern. So don't feel the pressure that you need to sit by your computer and have like 10 monitors and check the news every second. I would much rather you guys study the past and be prepared for these kinds of plays, and also profit when they've gone up too much. You can actually short sell these. You can make money when the stocks go down. Excuse me. And I think one of the best trades that I've seen, this is my challenge webinar. I've been using the Profitly chat room. I like seeing this where everyone is from, by the way. San Francisco, Australia, London, Germany. You really can do this from anywhere. I mean, look at all these guys. Wyoming, San Diego, Mississippi, Syracuse, Tennessee, Ottawa, Bangkok. Anyways, these are a few of my students who were in the live challenge webinar today. Where was this trade that I wanted to highlight? It was by Mark Crook. So Mark Crook, he's going to be a millionaire. He's getting close. I think he's at like 950,000 in profits. He's been my student for 6 or 7 years. So averaging like 150,000 a year, but he's getting better. And guess what? He was shorting CANN yesterday that I alerted during his live webinar yesterday, and he took the trade. And how much did he make? He said it somewhere. Where was it? Did I miss it? I was making the analogy that Amerigo Vespucci founded America, but Christopher Columbus gets Michael Good is trying to correct me. Christopher Columbus found America first, Amerigo Vespucci. From what I understand, Vespucci founded America first, and Christopher Columbus took all the credit. I don't know. I gotta look at it. My point is, even if I'm not good at history, is that you don't need to be first with these stocks. There's plenty of money to be made, days, hours, days, or weeks after the initial news. If you catch these hot trends with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and weed stocks. Of course, Michael Good has to rain on my parade. Michael Good, for those of you who don't know, is my first millionaire student. He actually wrote a blog post about me that says Timothy Sykes is full of BS. Then, he started using my techniques and made a few million. So he's happy, but we still give each other shit. It's pretty funny. Here's Mark Crook. So he made 2,163. Nothing huge, but I'll take it every time. And this is what cracks me up. This guy and like students like Roland, they had a few $1,000s to their name a few years ago. And now it's like, $2,000 in a day. It's nothing huge, but I'll take it. That is fantastic. And we lose sight of it sometimes once we make too much money. And I know Mark does every now and then because he sees some traders like Roland where they make $50,000 in a day. They're a little more aggressive. If you can make $2,000 or $3,000 on a high odds pattern, and guess what? Shorting CANN, on this basic double top in the past few days, E-Trade had shares to short. This is a pretty good pattern. And, shorting it overnight, there was a big panic yesterday, a big panic the day before, and now this is the third day of panicking. Usually on the backside of these supernovas, you can usually catch the downside for several days in a row. And it's just a question of finding shares to short. So I'm glad that, E-Trade had shares to short of CAN, and I'm proud of Mark Crook. So whether you're making 3,000 like I did, roughly, or, Mark Crook making 2,000, it adds up. Let me just show you. I have too many windows open. Mark's trades. What is he up to? 936,000 in profits. Look at this in 7 years. Okay, but you can see here his profit chart steepness is increasing because he's getting better. So a lot of you guys, like, you're making small money and you're like, well, I can make more, like as a Starbucks barista. The process and the discipline and the money that you make in the beginning is all irrelevant. It's all a test to getting you better so that you can make big money year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7 of your journey. The beginning of your journey is always the toughest because you know very little, you have no experience, these stocks move quickly. I know some of you guys get discouraged when you make a mistake, when you hit like the wrong button and there's a fat finger mistake, or the broker doesn't execute, or you can't find shares to short, or you chase a stock, or you don't cut losses. I mean, make every mistake in the books as early as you can so that you learn from them. Because when you're trading with small amounts of money, or paper trading, ideally using stocks to trade and practicing in the beginning, it doesn't matter. I know that you think it does. I know that like your friends and family are like, oh, penny stocks, oh, Tim Sykes is all a scam. I hear that every day, okay? But just do me a favor and trust me, because this is not a scam if you stick to the rules, if you, have this kind of process. And that's what I need for you guys. I need you guys to believe in the process, because in the beginning, it is not going to be fun. You are going to make mistakes. But if you stick with it, you will learn what not to do. And in the end of your life, you have many decades, if not centuries, given the upcoming advances in medicine and technology, right? So don't get discouraged. Like if you make $100 in a day when you're first starting, everyone's like, oh, I'm getting it. I made $100. And then somebody's like, oh, I lost $100. I hate this game. $100 plus or minus is not going to matter at all at the end of your life. And the lessons that losing $100 can actually be attributed to is more important than the lessons of you maybe making $100. Because a lot of people can make $100 in the wrong way. You're gambling. Stupid Microsoft update. You're gambling, you're scalping, you're not cutting losses. There's a lot of bad ways to make money, and they actually do you more harm in the long run, even if you make a little money in the short run. And I know that's very difficult to understand. People are like, Tim, why are you telling me to lose money? I'm telling you to try to make money, but try to do it the right way. There's a great example with Pete Sampras where he was a young tennis player. I've told this a few times, but I'll tell it again because it's applicable. He was a young tennis player. He could never get to really the top of the U.S. rankings when he was younger. And so his parents hired a new coach. I want to say it was like Tim or Tom Gullickson, who later died of brain cancer. Very sad. But at the time, they tried something totally new. And they said, Pete, you know what? Instead of trying to get to the top of the rankings right now, let's take a longer term approach to your game and just try hitting the ball as hard as you can every single time. And, the ball will go out, your rankings will drop because, frankly, you're not going to control it at first, but you're practicing for the long haul when everybody else is focused on the short term. And Pete Sampras obeyed his new coach. Sure enough, his rankings dropped for a few years. Everyone thought that he was, basically out of it, just totally gone, from the rankings. Like, oh, another star who just lost it. But he gradually got better. And with all of his power, the way that he trained, he quickly usurped everybody. And he became the number 1 ranked American, number 1 player in the world, youngest to win the US Open. And frankly, it was amazing to see how they did it. So I'm asking you to try to do the exact same thing, where I'm not saying lose money for the sake of losing money, but I'm saying practice good habits, meaning focus on the hottest stocks. Don't try to just scalp them. Don't just trade Alibaba for 100 shares here or there and, scalp it and feel like the little dopamine hit that you get if you make a little money. That's not going to serve you in the long run. If you want your profit chart to look like this, you have to practice good habits and good trading every day. Mark Crook only wins, look at this, 55% of the time. Okay? So there's a lot of room for improvement, and yet his profit chart is kind of hockey sticking right now because he has been in this game so long and he's making 2,000. He will be my next millionaire student. I don't know if he'll be absolutely next or, the second one. It doesn't matter. $1 million is nice, but $900,000 is pretty much just as nice. $1 million is just a psychological barrier that a lot of people like. I'm much more interested in this kind of profit chart. Okay? And Mark is not alone. If you look at, I don't know, Tim Grattani, here's his profit chart. Like this loss, while it looks like nothing in the grand scheme of things, I mean, this was a multi-$100,000 loss, and it snapped him out of a lot of his irresponsible ways, and that paved the way for him to now be closing in on $6 million in profits. If you look at, let's see, Michael Good trades, look at him, 2.12 million. I think he has to update his stuff a little bit. And then obviously Roland's trades where he's turned 4,000. He's now over 500,000 because he made $50,000 yesterday. But he was studying. Like a lot of people are like, how did he just go from nothing to something? He's been studying. Okay? The studying that you do in the beginning pays off in the long run. So I can tell you about making 3,000 a day. But at first, you're going to have to study and you're going to have to try different stuff. Let me just highlight some students with smaller trades who are getting it. Alex in at CNET at 695, out at 737 and 765, making a few $100s. That's a good trade and good practice. And he's using stocks to trade, so it hit his scanner. Cody had to go to the dentist, so he sold his IEGH right at the market open. Sold it at made 327 while getting his teeth worked on. Zach is just paper trading with CNET, and he made $1 a share. That's good practice. Okay. Trader Wins broke all of his rules. He's actually in my challenge webinar. He made 8,300 on HMNY. He could have made 12,000. He got a little greedy. He wanted more, so it cost him roughly $4,000. But he still made 8,300 the past few days swinging HMNY, which is a new blockchain play, which is ridiculous, but that's what's in right now. Raphael says 5 trading days ago, I started with 5K. Never stopped dreaming and working like a badass. No excuses. First time I've traded 2014 with Timothy Sykes, so I needed, it seems, 4 years. And now he's at 12,000, 5,000 to 12,000 because there are so many plays. The whole strategy right now is just buy whatever fucking blockchain, sorry for swearing, but buy whatever freaking blockchain or cryptocurrency stock is breaking out to new highs. Buy the breakouts, as I talked about in the other day, earlier this week with KODK, when it broke in the afternoon in the mid fives. I was out, I missed that one, but you buy the breakout, the late day breakout in the fives, I wouldn't have held past 6 or 7, but it went to 10. You don't have to ride the whole move. You can take singles. Here is Wolf Stock Traders holding overnight DPW, first green day, $289 profit, 10%. Andika, I love this. So some of you guys are trading with such small accounts and people give you shit for it. Shit, I just swear it again. Shit. Andika, first trade in on CNET, in at 540, out at 610. So making 70 cents a share, roughly 15%, and a nice small $14 profit. That's okay. The $14 profit is irrelevant. Whether you make $14 or lose $14, this is a good trade. And he says, best mentor ever, Timothy Sykes, your teachings work. Well, thank you. And I know that they work, but I appreciate you trusting me. I appreciate you taking the meat of the move, even though CNET, what is it up to? CNET is up. CNET's up to 740. So, Andika sold like $1.30 too soon, but that's okay. He's practicing, learning how to take the meat of the move. And CNET was actually spiking during my webinar today, so I probably should have gotten back in. I'm still working out the kinks between trading with a small account and a big account. I'll have a big blog post this weekend, or actually maybe even tomorrow, explaining everything. Now probably this weekend, because it's going to take a little while to explain my 2018 goals. But I want more students like this, and also health is wealth. This was me in Laos after playing soccer at my charity's first school in Laos. It was pretty sweet. This water was freezing, but I found peace. There were a few more tweets. Lex studies around 16 hours a day, every day. He loves it, and now his profit chart is heading up. Don't burn out. Ricardo is studying, and there's more, but this is enough. The whole point of this is that you need to study and you need to have kind of the right mindset where you can turn a few $1,000s into hundreds of thousands or millions within a few years if you focus on the hottest stocks. So I want you to leave a comment underneath this video saying 3 grand a day keeps the real job away. And to get there, look at the big percent winners every single day and look for breakouts, okay? Looking at big percent winners, look at this. CNET, these other ones were kind of pumps and they're up a lot, but they spiked big at the open. They haven't done much. CNET is actually nice where, it opened up, but look at this breakout. Same kind of U-shaped breakout right here over the day highs in the 575 area. And then it kind of retraces, or you can, if you want to wait until it's, more in play. It's kind of tough to buy the first breakout, especially after it spikes $1 a share. But this second breakout here in the mid sixes, guess what? Look at this. This is at 10:40 a.m. by 11:20 a.m. Okay, 10:40 a.m. all the way up to 11:20 a.m. 40 minutes, and the stock spikes $1.50. Then it gets a little choppy because we're midday. But these are the kinds of patterns. This is the kind of stuff that you have to focus on. Big percent winners, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and weed stocks. That's what's in play right now. I'll see you guys in the chat room. Congrats to so many students. And again, if you understand that I want you learning how to just take singles, 3 grand a day keeps the real job away. Leave a comment underneath this video. Thank you. See you.